In this tutorial, we are going to talk about material management in SimLab Composer. This is a SketchUp design that has been linked to SimLab Composer. If you click on any objects, you can see that it has the default materials that have been converted from SketchUp assigned to them, along with their corresponding texture maps. I have set a simple lighting for this scene, using the sun and sky system implemented in SimLab Composer. Press F4 on your keyboard to start the real-time rendering. Press F4 again to stop the real-time rendering. Under Scene Building, click on the Materials tab. This will grant you access to the Materials library and several useful functions and tools. The Show Materials button will open the Scene Materials Manager, which is a window containing all the materials used in your scene. In this window, you can create a new material. Once the button is clicked, it will create a default material, which you can modify later to suit its intended purpose. You can also delete any materials in this window. The third button will delete any unused material. Unused materials are materials that are not assigned to any objects in the scene. The Select Object Using Material button will select all the objects in the scene that has highlighted materials assigned to them. Press Ctrl and J on your keyboard to change the camera view to the selected objects. This is an easy way to navigate your scene through the materials. Apply Materials to Selected Objects will assign the highlighted materials to all the selected objects in your scene as it states. The Merge Identical Materials button will merge all the materials sharing the same attributes into one. So, for example, if several objects have a chrome material when it comes to attributes, but the labels of those materials differ, they would all be assigned a single material with the chrome material attributes. To assign a material from the materials library to an object, you can drag the material from the library and drop on the object. What this would do is assign the new material to all the objects sharing the same material. If you want to assign the material to a single object without affecting other objects sharing the same material, you can drag it from the library and drop it on the object in the model trees to your left. You can also drop to the assembly to affect all the objects contained in that assembly. In the Scene Material window, you have the ability to view materials for selected objects only. This would allow you to better manage materials and quickly reassign them to different objects. An important function that you can find in the Material tab is Style Only. When this option is toggled on, assigning new materials to objects will preserve any linked texture maps from the old materials and would only apply the material's attributes. For example, if I dragged a wood material to the table that has a default material assigned to it, you will notice that the material type and attributes, as well as the texture maps, have changed. But if I toggled Style Only on and applied a new wood material, you can see that the material's attributes changed, but the texture map remained the same. This is an effective way to preserve textures from your imported model and at the same time be able to utilize SimLab Composer's materials. Under the Material tab, you will find the Add Materials button, Delete Unused, and Merge Identical Materials, which have the same function as the button in the Scene Materials Manager window. You will also find in this tab Save as Library, which would allow you to save all the materials in the scene as a library and be able to retain that library whenever you wish to use those materials. You can also manage the libraries and be able to create new ones with subgroups with custom materials. The new library you created will be accessible through the Materials Library panel at the bottom. You can create material in this library or add existing materials from the scene. The Regenerate Library button will render a thumbnail for the materials within the library based on the attributes of those materials. It will create a visual guide to help you identify your materials. In the Materials Attribute panel, you will find easy access to the most used materials functions. You can select objects using that material, or you can apply the material to selected objects. There is also the Capture Material option. This option will give you a quick access to a material by creating a clickable thumbnail for that material. Capture a material, then select a different object. If you click the thumbnail now, you will access the material's attributes without changing the object selection. Now you can go ahead and apply this material to any selected objects. This last button on the Materials Attributes panel is the Regenerate Material icon, which will re-render the thumbnail for the selected material only, as opposed to Regenerate Library, which would re-render thumbnails for all the materials within it. SimLab Composer's material system is very easy to use and would allow you to quickly modify the appearance of your design without the complication of managing materials in the old fashion.